Alright, good morning everyone. My apologies for yesterday. That reading ran a little over what I wanted it to, and I didn't have time to post it. I didn't post it till late last night because I got home, just kind of kicked back on the couch, and then passed out. I'm not kidding you. It's day 7 of a 7-day stretch, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you, that's pretty taxing on the mind and the body alike. So I didn't pull anything out to read. I didn't do anything. I threw a little food down my throat, and that was it. I was gone. Not much else to say about it, but if you were looking for it just occurred to me, if you were looking for the links for the videos in the description below and you didn't see them, yeah, I did a reboot of the computer, and I do have a little text file that I save for, alteration, copy, and paste, because it makes things more efficient and a little easier for me. And yeah, it didn't save it. Yeah, kind of a bummer, but that's okay. But anyway, this is Full Scale Friday. This is what a full reading will look like. This one, since we're covering 3 days, it is going to cover the entire weekend. Today, tomorrow, and of course Sunday. And then I will be back on Monday. Despite it being the 4th of July, I will be back on Monday, and we will do another reading. I will probably not do a strict Moonology Monday. I will probably do something more akin to this, or even like the traditional Thursday video. It will include the Moonology decks, though. I will be bringing those out. So possibly Moonology Monday Plus, if that's something you want to see. Comment down below. If you've got other decks you would like to see me use, comment down below. And if you would like to, full reading, traditional reading, I think I should try a new spread, something like that, I don't know. Comment down below. Also, here in the last 2 weeks, not a whole lot of people viewing, but I got you. And so, I've chalked it up to people are kind of going away on vacation, and they're not really just tuning in, so that's fine. Typically when more people are in, they tend to watch a little more. So, got a favor to ask of you. If you're sharing this out, thank you. If you're hitting that subscribe button, which I've noticed an uptick in subscribers, a real, fall off in views, but an uptick in subscribers, thank you. If you're still showing up every day, rain, shine, anything in between, thank you. If you've shown up sporadically, thank you. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you here. And if you showed up to get mad about a dude messing with cards, thank you. Anyway, I'll tell you what I have noticed, though. In the comment section on Cloud Hub, a lot of people are like, "Oh, come over to our Telegram group for NFTs. You'll thank me later. Let me show you how to turn $20 into 2 million," or some other pie in the sky thing. And to those people, I bid you all a fine Drater Helvete and a fine Fanta Deg. There we go. I think that, was it a little too strong? Was it just a little too much for you? Oh well. It was said. Anyway, start with you. The halls. here we go. Sacrificing again. You know, we had Othala pop up in a couple of rune readings. I think it was probably last week. And that prompted me to do an ancestral reading today. So, got my Celtic Tarot, got my Angels and Ancestors deck out, Viking Oracle, runes, Spirit Animal Oracle. We've got it all today. And we're calling on the ancestors to show us something. What do we need to know for this weekend? Well, the halls of Sessrumnir and Valhall are for those who have sacrificed, who have done what they, they've given everything that they could possibly give. They have put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, the anguish, the agony, and the ecstasy, and that is reward. So what we're really talking about isn't so much your sacrifices, it's more of the rewards for those sacrifices. So those things have now to come to fruition. Now, we're talking about you in relation to that. So how do you factor in? The point of the halls right now is to keep pushing. Don't let up now. Don't take that breather. Don't take that break just yet. You still have a mission to accomplish, and everything you want is on the other side of it. And the only way out of it is through it. So, how are you being guided to do that this weekend? Well, you're really not. There's a lot of open air here. There's a lot of Ginnunga gap, as it were. You're kind of in the middle of two extremes. The extreme heat of Muspelheim and the extreme cold of Niflheim. Those two realms are throwing off water and sparks, and in the in-between, they meet. So and the void itself is very calm. Sure, it's empty. Sure, there's nothing there, but it's very calm. And that means anything can happen. So you really are going to have to trust yourself this weekend. So what can you look at in nature? The spirit of the buffalo. Abundance, ladies and gentlemen, it exists in the universe. And it will be provided, guaranteed, as long as you are about what you're doing. Remember, it's been hammered home so much in this last week that your divine spark within, your creativity, that godlike power exists. Now, if that godlike power exists, then how and who and what can possibly stand against you? If that spark of the divine is there and you've cultivated it, you've nurtured it, there is nothing that can stop you. Get me? Let's see how you're doing mentally. Alright. Got a 3 of cauldrons or cups. We have a 5 of swords. We have a 5 of swords here. And we have death in reverse. Let's start here. We really do have, as much as we like to gripe and complain about things sometimes not going our way, we really do have a lot to celebrate. You know, I kind of caught myself yesterday at work. There's been some stuff go on that in 3 years hasn't, it changes and then it reverts back. And then, you know, the outcome is still a mystery as to why it happened. And I was kind of grumbling about a couple things under my breath yesterday, just kind of talking to myself, going, man, I can't wait to get home. I just want to get out of here. But really, I had to catch myself. Because let's face it, yeah, it's a job. Yeah, it's there's a lot of stuff going on there. But I kind of have to be thankful that I have it and that I've had the lived experience of it. Because it has shown me so much more I didn't know than before. And much of it has solidified a lot of my stances, believe me. And I had to remind myself of why I took it. Because I did find the idea of hacking the human body fascinating. Although the question now remains, exactly what are we hacking it toward? What are our manipulations coming to? So there was that little, thing. There are many, many lessons learned, and I learned them. Now, is something better on the horizon? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Maybe I'll stick around for a while and find out. Who knows, right? Okay. And that's because the lessons you've learned have made you a master in your field. Maybe you don't know everything. But I can tell you this much from where I work. I have found that there are people that are ready, willing, and able to get me up to speed. And meaning that this is not the end. You know, death usually means that there's an end and then there's a beginning. We've already had Ragnarok pop up. But now we're in a new beginning. And it kind of looks the same as the old thing that we just left. But it's not. We still have a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to keep that in mind. Now, let's look at the physical. So, got the moon in reverse. We've got the druid, or the magician. Got a king of wands there. So, the moon can be a particularly scary and uncertain time, but we are not in uncertain times, really. Not really. If you really think about it, we're kind of in a bit of history repeating itself. Where we think we've been dealt a blow, we can deal one back even bigger. And you can teach those other people, hey, remember when this happened before? Yeah. You tried the same thing and expected a different result. It's not happening. And why? Because right below mastery of your field is you alchemizing all those elements within you, you getting your very nature in tune, you becoming everything that you can, being, dare I say it, all you can be. And also getting very creative with it. I know the back of his chair looks like a dick, but hey, guess what? Wands are phallic symbols. That's just how it is. This is telling us, again, remember that divine masculine. You have to stand firm, you have to be there, you have to be in the moment, and you have to be able to draw on your past experiences while still learning new things. The magician never stops learning, ladies and gentlemen. Never. And right now, sure, times may seem uncertain, but I'm telling you right now, it's not quite the loss you think it is. Draw on that history. See where it doesn't always have to repeat. In some cases, it just has to rhyme. Spiritually speaking, we are looking at the Fool. We are looking at a Page of Cauldrons. And we're looking at a Nine of Shields. Let's start with the Fool. We talk a lot about the hero's journey in tabletop RPG circles, but have we ever considered the Fool's journey? Let me tell you something. I'm going to make a direct comparison here. Dungeon Crawl Classics. You start with a few level 0 characters, and then maybe 1 or 2 emerges from the what we call the meat grinder or the funnel to become level 1 characters who then take that journey. We like to call it the hero's journey. In this case, I would like to call it the fool's journey, because the fool sets off not knowing anything. Very naive to the ways of the world, very naive thinking, and very naive actions. You know, the fool also reminds me of the Rocky films, right? You got this guy who's in pretty much abject poverty, and he gets an opportunity, and he you know, at first he's like, I don't know, but then he thinks about it, he's like, alright, I'll do it. What the hell? And he knows the odds are against him. And even though he still loses, he's made famous all over. By the time you get to the film Rocky Balboa, he's talking to his son, who's all grown up. And he says, let me tell you something you probably already know. The world is not all sunshine and rainbows. It is a mean, nasty place, and it will beat you to your knees and keep you there if you let it. But life isn't about how hard you get it. It isn't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done. I can't sum up the fool's journey well enough in those lines. Thank you, Sylvester Stallone. We do have a page of cauldrons in reverse. This does mean that the naive emotions now have to take a back seat. To me, this symbolizes a little bit more of an emotional maturity there. Do you necessarily have to be a lot more of a hard ass? No. It just means being a little more careful. Not being so willing to pop off. Not being so quick to react, as we have been in the last several days. And then we have the 9 of shields here, or 9 of coins. This is ultimate reward. If we exercise that little bit of, if we could take a new adventure, we could take that on, just a little bit of savvy, we could find ourselves whole and replenished again. Never a bad thing. Going to the Angels and Ancestors deck here, I'm just going to flip them all over. Okay, so mentally, you got a magic guardian. This is telling you to unlock the magic within. Ladies and gentlemen, my lower third on this screen right here, just all along the bottom, you'll see my name, and you'll see believe in your own magic. If you need to go back a little bit, do so, and then come back to this. But once you've seen it, We've had the Will of Weird come up before. We've had that kind of thing. All of this, even this, is telling you you need to start really, pointing right here at the Druid again, pointing at the 5 of Swords, pointing at the 3 of Cauldrons, pointing at the Moon in reverse, the King of Wands. This encompasses the whole thing. You have to be able to unlock your magic and use it. You know, Donald Tyson was writing something, and he had written something in the New Magus that said magic only exists inside the circle. It cannot exist outside the circle. And personally, I disagree with that, because we use it every day, whether we realize it or not. We have talents, gifts, abilities, and skills. We need that ability to create again. Make it great. Settle for nothing less. And guess what? You might feel like the weirdo, the odd one out, but yeah, you're not alone. You've got plenty of help if only you'd call for it. I learned that. Finally, though, you got the Earth Mother here, which is telling you feel loved and comforted. Hey, look. This directly points us to a point of origin, a point from which we came, a point from where we knew that we were taken care of, we were okay, as long as we were there. And there is nothing wrong with that. And if it's inside your circle, get inside your circle. If it's out in the woods, get outside of the woods. If it's sitting on a riverbank and just watching it flow, get out there on that riverbank. Go fishing. Do whatever you gotta do. But get to that point where you feel that warmth again. Yeah. Run home to mama. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need it. The difference is how much can you stand on your own too until you realize you do need that help. Because that's where you need to go sometimes. This whole section right here is telling you it doesn't always have to be you against the world. Right? So let's see what the runes have to say. We have Divas, Ansus, and Dagas. My personal rune, Dagas. And right there in the spirit, no less. We all know Tivaz is about justice, leadership, and victory. Things are going to work out. As long as you're still putting in that effort, things are going to work out. Things are going to be just fine. It's not assured without your agency, though. But it also depends on how well you communicate. Remember, this rune is Odin's rune. It means breath. You don't communicate without breath. So if you have to take, like, in order to keep from blowing out everything in sort of a mental or verbal diarrhea, just take a minute, breathe, and then release the information as you need to. It's also important, as in communications, ladies and gentlemen, please just listen. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, I get hammered with all kinds of stuff all the time. I am basically a de facto therapist at times. Let me tell you something. When someone feels it's so important that they just have to talk, I will let them. I'll let them until they shut up. And then I'll continue from where I was. And it usually comes with, okay, I was getting to that. If you'll give me a couple minutes to explain this. Sometimes I have to get a little pointed with it. I'll be like, look, I can either explain this to you or you can keep interrupting me, but we can't have both. Yeah, are you finished? Is it my turn now? Okay, here we go. Sometimes it has to be that way. Or as Eric D. July would say, yeah, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes you have to let them run out of steam. Because that's when dawn breaks. That's when things dawn on you. That's what Dagas means. It means dawn. That's your breakthrough. And with it being in the spirits section here, it's about a higher state of consciousness. Remember, we've talked about pursuing that higher state before. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things I agree with Donald Tyson in his book, The New Magus. If you are pursuing a higher state, power and influence will come with it, but they won't matter. If you're pursuing power for the sake of power, if you're pursuing influence for the sake of influence, those things you will achieve them, and they will absolutely corrupt the shit out of you. And once they do, you won't have much left. So really, is it worth it? Does it really make a lot of sense? I don't think it does. And I urge you all, pursue that higher state. Pursue that higher creative state. Alchemize all those pieces within you. Really master your field. Because those are self-empowering, and self-empowerment means independence. We are about to celebrate Independence Day. That is crucial. It is functional, and it matters. And it is given to you by your Creator. I don't care if you think it is God, Jesus, Odin, Chronicles, Valor. Although if you think you were created by Valor or Cthulhu, well, okay. Okay. I don't care. A test tube or just your parents. I don't care what that is. That is what's instilled in you. You came from that creative force. You came from that creative energy. You have that ability to create. I can't tell you that enough. And if you're not a master at it, then practice. Keep drawing, keep writing, keep painting, keep playing that instrument. Play another one. Learn another one. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Van Halen played both guitar and piano. It's never too late to learn, even if it's only to entertain yourself. Keep doing it. Find creative ways of wording things. Learn some new vocabulary. Hey, guess what? We're talking about communication here. You might as well bolster that vocabulary a little bit, right? Get a thesaurus. Learn some new stuff. But as long as you are doing that work, the universe, God, whatever, will step in and fill in the blanks, and then you are good to go. That's what's happening here. Unlock your magic. And if you need a bit of a respite, yes, go get it. It is the weekend after all. For some of us, a long weekend, and thank goodness for that. But I will be back on Monday. In the meantime, I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. Don't let anyone take that creative spark from you. Now is not the time to dim that light. And as I've said in the past 3 readings, if that light is too much for anyone else, tell them to get a fucking pair of sunglasses and shine the fuck on.